Now since we was on Lady Gaga and her nominations, that was the good thing. See, we're gonna get Lady Gaga did some good. Now we about to read her. So we gotta get into this story because apparently her damn baby critters are being messy over there at the Mayhem Ball. So apparently, Lady Gaga is under fire following a wave of backlash from fans of the Katy Cats and fans of Madonna, who don't think we have a name for them. What do they call? Um, the Rebel Hearts. I guess that's what we'll call them. So anyway, so yeah, there's a whole little situation going on with apparently there's that, and when you go to Lady Gaga's concert, you could post little videos or whatever the case is of, I guess, little words of encouragement, whatever the case is, but the words that they popped up on this situation was not encouraging. And now she's under fire for allowing her baby critters to be messy at the behest of trying to prop up their favorite pop star. So there's a photo circulating on the Twitter which showed two comments displayed on large screens during the show, one mocking Katy Perry as a liar, and another referring to Madonna as a 90-year-old who wants to be Gaga. Mind you, Madonna is older than Lady Gaga. Madonna has had a career for 4 decades. Lady Gaga hasn't even come up on 2 yet. But Madonna's trying to be like her? Okay. So now, they said Lady Gaga is facing backlash for allowing ageist and misogynistic comments to be displayed at her concert. The post shared yesterday, August 3rd, read, well, today is the 5th, so this is about 2 days ago. Now, the post almost sent Gaga's, Madonna's, and Perry's fan bases into an all-out war before some fans started noticing something was off about the post. And it's funny how the fans they're all going to war, like Trump going to war with Charlemagne, but that was yesterday. Today, now he's going after Gayle King. Soon enough, he's going to run after black people to try to come out and call it with a low IQ, because that's what he loved doing. But anyway, let me pull up the thing in case y'all didn't see it, because I was wondering if this was real. So yeah, they said, I don't think Katy Perry has ever kissed a girl. I mean, quiet as it's kept, I don't think she has either. But she did get a hit out of it. Another person said, I wish I could be like Lady Gaga. Madonna, 90. Madonna is 65, will be 60. No, she's 64, 66. She'll be 67 on the 16th of this year. So y'all tried it. Or she is 66, right? About to be 67. Sometimes I be bugging because she was born 1958, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so then they went on to say, netizens immediately called out the singer for letting such messages appear at what was supposed to be a safe and empowering space meant for the fans, meaning mostly homosexuals and girls, and maybe some straights, to express their appreciation for Gaga. That is so disrespectful to Madonna, this is one person wrote. Another person wrote, love Gaga, but her team needs to stop allowing this because this tour is supposed to be professional and a safe place or safe space for respectful comments and not putting other artists down. This is what another person said. Others were less generous with their words and replied to the remarks with double the anger. Child, they was reading. Now, one person said, the most performative person on the face of the planet, Lady Hypocrite, has always been a fake, phony fraud. This is what one user wrote. Now, this was the part that had me damn near cackling and rolling on the floor. Somebody called Lady Gaga Timu Madonna. They said, Timu Madonna finally getting called out for what she is. Now, another person said Madonna is bigger than Gaga, and KP, as in Katy Perry, was bigger at her prime than Gaga's prime, period. This is what another added. Another person says she's not misogynistic or ageist. She's just defending her own legacy. Gaga is arguably bigger than Madonna, and she had to put her in her place. Now, talk about delusions. You must be in the cult like a lot of them maggots are in the Trump cult, because there is no way in hell that I feel like you're not going to sit up here and say it's not misogynistic or ageist. When you sit up here referring to a woman who's in her 60s as someone who's 90 years old, that is considered misogynistic and ageist. That you're coming at her for being an older woman still making music. If your queen is who she is, and if you're living for her and you want to sit up there and tell her how amazing she is, that's great. I feel like everybody should just love who they love. Love your favorite, love up on your favorite artist, but you don't have to shit on someone else in order to prop up your fave. Because to me, when you do that, that's a sign of insecurity. Now, would this be something that Lady Gaga would be privy to, knowing about? Or is it that, because I know that you're saying there are people saying like she is the creative director behind this whole situation. The buck stops and starts with you. So, with that being said, should she be well aware of what's going on in the situation? Or is it that her team dropped the ball, they were being messy, and she's not aware because she's busy worrying about what's going on behind the scenes in regards of making sure that the show is going to be what it is, so she can go out and concentrate on singing and performing and giving y'all the show that y'all paid a shit ton of money on. Because I already told y'all, in the 200s at the Garden, I've already talked to quite a few people when at other concerts that came and they were like, oh, I just want to come in and see like where my seats are because I got tickets for the Gaga concert. And this is like weeks ago when I was working other shows. So people do come in the Vom sometimes and they're like, oh, I just want to check out my seats or whatever, just so that way when the day comes for that concert, I want to know how the where I'm going to be sitting and that whole sort of thing. And so it's like they're mentally preparing themselves for that day so they don't get lost, because it is big in that building. And then I was like, out of curiosity, because I'm nosy, and I bring back the tea to y'all, I was like, so how much are them tickets going for? Even though one of my coworkers showed me the tickets, floor seats are almost $2,000. You out your damn mind. Thank God I work in live entertainment, because if I had to pay that much money for my fave, oh hell no. I wouldn't even pay that much for Madonna. And y'all know I live for the queen. But they were talking about like tickets on the floor was like for like $1,700 in certain spots. In the 200s, which is on the 8th floor, one guy was something. He said he bought his tickets for him and his daughter, and he said like the tickets went for like each one, just one ticket was like almost $600, and he bought two. So I was like, well, damn, that's a lot of money for a seat, and it's not even like that's not even in the 100. So I can only imagine how expensive the tickets are the closer you get to the floor. But like I was saying too, it's like you can't sit in there and say she's arguably bigger than Madonna. She's living rent free in Madonna's head. Or Madonna's living rent free in her head. Madonna ain't thinking about her. Madonna right now is worrying about her children. She's living her best life. She's pleasing that young man that she got. She's working on her new album, Confessions on the Dance Floor Part 2. She ain't got time to be out here thinking about Lady Gaga trying to raise the dead with abracadabra choreography. Now, more people went in and said, oh, they said the vitriol kept escalating until amid the back and forth, some users began pointing out a different reality. All three fan bases were being manipulated. Well, of course, but that's not going to stop this discourse from being had on the social media. So yeah, one person said her team should apologize. Another person said disgusting and bitter. Now, indeed, the viral tweet that ignited the controversy came from accounts known for rage bait tactics, a strategy that exploits online outrage to drive engagement. And when looked at more closely, the incident in question turned out to be less scandalous than advertised. So what they were saying is like, yeah, of course you have like your rage bait sites or whatever that's up here trying to ignite fights and things to get y'all all riled up, so that way they can have some type of momentum going on social media. This is what they do. Now, they said the comments shown on the concert screen were part of a live fan submission system used throughout the Mayhem Ball tour. Attendees were able to submit short messages, many of which were projected during the show in real time. Now, as some commenters pointed out, the two comments targeting Madonna and Perry were likely submitted by individual fans and slipped through moderation filters. Well, we'll give them that. But if there's more that come down the road, then it's like, okay, y'all doing this shit on purpose. Now, in that light, the controversial statements arguably reflect more of a vocal segment of Gaga's fan base than on the artist herself. Still, some fans held Gaga ultimately responsible. Well, I think that also this is like a wound that will not heal, because we remember back in the day that there was this big situation. It was like, you could be a fan of someone and be like, oh, I took inspiration from Madonna, which Lady Gaga has admitted that, yeah, she is one of her inspirations. But I feel like because of the whole period of when Madonna said, it's with the whole Gaga comparison, people kept asking her about it, that it's reductive and all this other stuff. That's why I always liked how Kylie Minogue was such a class act whenever people kept badgering her to death and saying question about, the Madonna comparisons. And yeah, if you want to talk about mega tours, choreography, a large gay fan base and the type of music that they do, yeah, there's similarities, but Kylie Minogue is a completely different artist than who Madonna is. Like Madonna does more social political commentary. Kylie is someone who doesn't like to rock the boat. She's going to entertain y'all for 2 hours. She's the ultimate showgirl. So they're two completely different stars. I mean, artists. The only difference is like I said, they put on these big, massive shows. They have fabulous costumes, intricate choreography, cool little stage situations going on, and they both like to experiment with their music, but their core fan base is like the homosexuals. So there's the similarity. And then there were similarities with Lady Gaga, but it almost felt like at times that Gaga was kind of like taking a lot from what Madonna has done. But then again, it's kind of hard to come up with your own thing and do your own thing when Madonna's pretty much done everything that has been under the sun and made it mainstream. So now they went on to say, as some commenters pointed out, the two commenters targeting Madonna and Perry were likely submitted by individual fans and slipped through moderation filters. In that light, the controversial statements arguably reflected more on a vocal segment of her fan base than the artist herself. Still, they said she's a hate enabler, period, overlooked or not. Not screening these messages makes her responsible, as she claims to be the creative director of her show. Now, Mayhem Ball, which is Gaga's 8th concert tour, launched in July 16, 2025 in Paradise, Nevada, in support of her chart-topping album, Mayhem. Originally not intended to take place, the tour was greenlit after the overwhelming response to the record and Gaga's health improvements following years of chronic pain related to fibromyalgia. Now, they said the show was designed to be kind of theatrical and electrifying experience that brings Mayhem to life exactly how I envision it. Now, I will say that the tour has been a success so far, being praised for its production values, visuals, and tightly choreographed numbers, which basically is like, hello, that is kind of like taking out the Madonna handbook because nobody has been able to tour like this since Madonna basically laid out the blueprint. People was not touring like the way she was before that. Like people was doing regular shows, whatever the case was, but the way like how you see like stories are being told, there's a beginning, a middle, and end. There's like this whole Broadway aspect that is brought to the way that people tour. All the artists do it, from Pink to Beyonce to Madonna. I mean to Kylie to even Gaga and so many others. They all have taken that blueprint. So for the people to sit up here and try to act like that whole theatrical situation where it looks like literally a Broadway show brought to life, Madonna brought that shit since the Blonde Ambition tour. So if you know, you know. Education is important, and so is Google being your friend. It's free. Look it up. I don't have to sit up here and just feed y'all a bunch of BS for the sake of feeding it to you. So, it went on and on and on and on and on. How a lot of people are saying all this stuff in regards of like a lot of stuff that's going on. They said, yeah, I'm sure Gaga said F it, allow these to go through. And then some people was like, she be preaching about feminism and love while turning a blind eye to the bullying your own platform fuels. And tons of her fan base will still defend and praise her for this. Bunch of hypocrites. Well, maybe I'll just give her the benefit of the doubt and say that, you know what? I don't think she pretty much knew what was going on. She can't be in control of everything. But at the same time, it's kind of like if there's any kind of negative stuff, that should have been filtered out because, you know, if your name is on the marquee and you are the star of the situation, you're the one who's going to be blamed regardless. That's like if Nicki Minaj had this situation going on and she had her fans sending and stuff, and the Barbs was to put up some, well, take your pick, because pretty much Nicki Minaj in a damn beef with every female rapper under the damn sun. She's in a new beef too with an athlete who told me he gonna beat her husband ass for $10 million. I'm sure y'all probably heard this story. I thought about talking about it. I was like, I can't. That lady it just be too much dealing with that chick. But if her fan base was to put up any anti Megan Thee Stallion, anti Cardi B, anti, take your pick of whichever female rapper fill in the blank that she beefing with. There would have been an all out war between the Barty gang, between the I don't even know what the hell. What is Megan Thee Stallion's fan base called? The Hotties. All of them, they be coming up in there saying stuff. So do better. Or maybe what you need to do is get rid of that fandom stuff. Now, with me doing 3 out of her 4 shows this month at the Garden, my nosy hat behind, I'll say it, my nosy ass, because I was going to say behind, I'm trying to clean it up, was already there. Might as well go with it, right? I'll definitely be checking out that screen and seeing what you people are putting up in the prompter, because y'all know there will be no Madonna disrespect, especially because Madonna and Gaga are relatively loved in New York, whereas Gaga is from New York. Madonna is a New York plant, but she's been here for like over 40 years, so she pretty much is a New Yorker at this point. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story, this messy beef that's going on between these damn fans? Like I said, Madonna ain't sitting there thinking about this. She got other things to worry about than y'all out here trying to be shady on your fave's behalf. And as an artist, you don't have to crap on someone else to make yourself look good or to make your fave look good. It's like everybody can coexist in this world. Gaga is fine. She's making her money. She's successful. She's a pop star. Madonna is successful doing her own thing while y'all sitting at home just mad for what? And getting ulcers and crow's feet and gray hairs over what? Because you thinking that by doing all of this that your fave will notice you? No, that's what they do over there in the Barb's department. Like that's y'all like doing that shit with hopes of that Nikki will go and say some stuff and give you a little attention. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.